Hey everyone, how often do you think about what's under the hood of your car? And I'm not even talking about the engine itself, more like all that tech that seems to be everywhere these days.
Yeah, cars are practically computers on wheels now.
Right. So today, we're going to take a deep dive into why everyone's suddenly talking about auto tech careers.
And why it might be time to trade that desk job for a wrench.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're wading through reports, trends, you name it, because you want to know. Are those rumors of auto techs raking in the big bucks actually true?
Well, let's just say the data's looking pretty good right now if you know what you're doing.
Okay, so for those of us picturing like a greasy garage and someone yelling, "Hand me a wrench,"
Ah.
how's the auto tech world actually different now?
It's a whole new ballgame. Forget just fixing engines. Now you've got electric vehicles,
Those are
EVs,
blowing up.
exactly with their battery systems, power electronics, all that. Then there's all the driver assistance stuff, the ADS.
ADS, that's like the car practically driving itself, right?
Basically, lane keeping, emergency braking, all run by sensors and software. Even affordable cars have them now.
So this isn't just some fad. Sounds like auto tech is booming while other industries are struggling.
You got it. The Bureau of Labor Statistics, they're projecting we'll need like 67,800 new auto techs every year until 2033.
Well, hold up. 67,000 every year.
Every year. That's a 3% growth rate, which is huge when you've got other trades barely budging.
Crazy. Okay, so what's causing this massive need for skilled techs?
Well, for starters, all those experienced techs, they're retiring, and there aren't enough young folks to replace them.
Ah, so it's not just new jobs being created, but a wave of existing jobs opening up too.
You got it. And here's the kicker. Lots of trade schools, they're still teaching how to fix cars from like a decade ago.
Oh no, so they're behind on all the new tech.
Big time. Which is
Yeah.
why real-world experience is more valuable than ever.
So just going to trade school isn't enough anymore.
Not if you want those top jobs with the best pay. Think about it if you're a shop owner looking for an EV tech. You got one guy fresh out of school, another who spent a year interning at a Tesla service center.
Yeah, who are you picking?
Exactly. And that experience translates into a much fatter paycheck.
Which is what everyone wants to know about,
Mm.
right? So, more jobs, experienced techs retiring, and trade schools scrambling to catch up. Sounds like a recipe for some serious earning potential.
You'd be right, especially if you've got the skills employers are desperate for.
Okay, but what does that look like in actual dollars and cents?
We're talking signing bonuses, faster promotions, the whole 9 yards. And this isn't just me guessing. There's a company just recruiting. They've got this tool, the Automotive Technician Wage Analysis.
Catchy name.
Right. But they use it to analyze a shop's finances, the kind of work they do, their tech skills, and bam, they can tell you what the market's willing to pay.
So it's not just about waltzing in and demanding a higher salary. There's actual data to back it up.
Exactly.
But what are those magic skills everyone's looking for?
Well, you mentioned EVs earlier, and that's a big one. As more and more people ditch gas, the need for techs who know their way around an EV battery system, regenerative braking, all that, it's huge.
Makes sense. It's a whole different animal from a regular engine.
Totally. And speaking of different, there's ADAS.
Right, the driver assistance techs. Isn't that still mostly on luxury cars?
Not anymore. Even the more affordable models are coming standard with lane departure warnings, adaptive cruise control, all those systems that use sensors and software to keep you safe.
So you need to be a bit of a computer whiz to work on those too.
You got it. You're basically dealing with algorithms and computer networks now, not just mechanical parts.
Wild. What else is on the must-have skills list?
Complex diagnostics is huge. It's not enough to just read error codes anymore. We're talking about diving deep into data logs to find the source of some phantom electrical gremlin.
Like a digital detective for cars.
Exactly. And this is where those internships we were talking about, they really pay off. Imagine spending a year getting hands-on experience with EV repairs or calibrating 8A systems.
You'd be miles ahead of someone who just finished a textbook.
No kidding. And according to Just Recruiting's research, those internships often translate into much higher starting salaries. It's about proving you can handle the tech that's in demand.
So it's not just what you know, but what you can do.
100%. And with the way tech's changing, even if you think you've got it all figured out, something new pops up.
Right, so how does someone even keep up in this industry?
Well, you've got your industry magazines, which are good for the basics, but You've got this whole online world now, forums, webinars, online communities where techs are constantly sharing tips and tricks and debating the latest tech.
Like a secret society of car whisperers.
Pretty much. Plus, there are always industry conferences and workshops if you're really serious about staying ahead of the curve.
Okay, so we've established this isn't your grandpa's auto shop anymore. It's high-tech, it's in demand, and it pays well, especially if you've got the skills and you stay current. But are there downsides? I mean, it can't all be smooth sailing, right?
You're right, every job has its challenges. And in this field, one of the big ones is the physical toll it can take.
Right, you're not exactly pushing papers in an air-conditioned office.
Exactly. You're on your feet a lot, often in some pretty awkward positions, wrestling with heavy parts. You need a good back, strong hands, and yeah, you're going to get dirty.
And speaking of things that can be heavy, we've got to mention the financial investment in tools. That's a big one, right?
For sure, building a good tool collection can get expensive, especially as you specialize in things like EVs or AA. Those tools don't come cheap.
So it's not just the cost of education, but this ongoing investment in your toolbox.
Yeah, it's like running your own mini workshop. And those specialized tools are the price of entry for the high-paying gigs. And then there's the whole staying current thing. That can feel like a full-time job in itself with how fast things change.
It's like you're constantly playing catch up with the technology.
Sometimes it feels that way. You've got to be willing to put in the time, maybe take extra courses, get new certifications, just to keep your skills sharp. And then, of course, there's dealing with customers.
Yes, the human element. Can't forget about that.
Right, and that can be tricky no matter what you do, but especially when people are stressed about their cars.
Oh, totally.
Oh,
Car trouble is the worst.
no kidding. So you need patience, empathy, the ability to explain complex stuff in a way that doesn't go over their heads. You're not just fixing cars, you're managing expectations, building trust.
You're like a therapist for people and their vehicles.
Huh,
So,
something like that. But honestly, for the right person, none of that really matters. If you like solving problems, if you like working with your hands, if you're fascinated by how things work, this job is incredibly rewarding.
there's got to be a real sense of accomplishment when you crack a tough one and get that car running right again.
Totally. Remember that feeling as a kid when you finally figured out how to build that awesome Lego set? It's like that, but instead of Lego, you're working with technology that's shaping the future.
I love that analogy. Speaking of the future, any predictions about where auto tech is headed? What gets you excited?
Oh man, so many things. First off, EVs are just getting warmed up. As battery tech improves, more charging stations pop up, we're going to see a seismic shift away from gas cars.
And a surge in demand for techs who know EVs inside and out.
Absolutely. We're talking battery systems, electric motors, the whole shebang. And then there's the self-driving revolution.
I feel like that's still a ways off, honestly.
It's closer than you think. But even now, the semi-autonomous features we see, the lane keeping, the adaptive cruise control, all that runs on seriously complex tech. Sensors, software, algorithms, you need specialized knowledge to work on that stuff.
So the auto tech of the future isn't just a gearhead, they're practically a computer programmer too.
Exactly. Imagine a mechanic who's as comfortable writing code as they are changing a tire. That's the future.
Mind-blowing. We're talking about a whole new breed of tech-savvy mechanics.
You got it. And honestly, we've only scratched the surface. Flying cars, Hyperloop, AI diagnostics. Who knows what's next? But one thing's for sure. It's an exciting time to be in auto tech.
Absolutely. So for anyone listening who might be thinking, hey, maybe this is for me, what's one piece of advice you'd give them?
Don't just think about it, do it. Get out there, learn, get your hands dirty. This industry is evolving so fast, there's never been a better time to jump in.
Love it. And on that note, we've reached the end of our deep dive into the world of auto tech. Hopefully you're feeling a little more informed, a little more inspired, and ready to explore the incredible opportunities this field has to offer.
It's been a pleasure chatting with you.
The pleasure was all ours. Now, you'll excuse us, it seems we've got a shiny new EV with our names on it, waiting for a test drive. Keep those engines running, and we'll catch you on our next deep dive.